Happy Friday to one and all that celebrate. You have earned your way to the end of the week. And what is your present? What is your reward? That's right. It's a bonus live. 6 Rings in Football Things with your old pals, Fitzy and Hart, coming at you here right now on the old Fitzy GFY and WEEI socials here on Friday, May the 10th, 2024. Fitzy and Hart with you right now.
Whoa.
What a treat.
Yes. May 10th. May 10.
May 10th. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't
Drake
even
May
put that
Day.
together. It is Drake May Day. Finally, all the times we've been saying May Day, May Day, it is actually Drake May Day. Of course, the interwebs were lit aflame yesterday over a 3-second video of Drake May walking from the parking lot, the players' parking lot, into Gillette Stadium for the first time yesterday. Well, he's been there before, the day he was announced as the draft pick, but last year, Andy, it was the video of Christian Gonzalez and his quads jumping up to pick off a pass at rookie minicamp. And Pats fans who were just so desperate for anything positive to latch onto shared the video. Oh, my God. Did you see? He's so smooth. He's so handsome. He's going to be amazing. We got a shutdown corner. And now Drake May walks in and goes, hey, how y'all doing? And all of a sudden, everyone's like, this guy's, he's it. He's him. He's the savior. He's walked on water and served double cheeseburgers for all. My God, I just can't wait to get back to a day and time, Andy, where we don't lose our minds over footage of the quarterback literally walking from the parking lot into the stadium.
And in that short walk, he was more likable in that span than Mac Jones douchebag ever was. And I'm going to say that.
I'm going to say that. Hot. Sophie Scott just posted a farewell to New England yesterday.
And you see what went on underneath it in the comments? Mike Gesicki's like, great, you never have to, you can always have the beach and 75 degrees. And then Mac Jones was like, fax, but fax machines, douche. Two douches of a feather, Gesicki and Jones. Get out. Hello, May. You're already cooler and more likable and nicer, and everything is better than Mac Jones ever was.
I was going to say, so far, it doesn't do Mac. He did post a classy thank you and everything else himself as well.
Fake like all of him.
See, that's the thing.
Fake.
The
real Mac Jones we never saw.
I don't even know if we ever will know the real Mac Jones or what the real Mac Jones. I think somebody just put up a Burley Sullivan, who's currently watching live on the YouTubes. Just put, if you're watching us here right now, I think is that an emoji of a fax machine? Wow,
that's what Mac Jones did. Yeah, nobody uses faxes.
No one faxes anymore. I think the last person to do that was Elvis Doomerville's agent, who didn't get one in on time for his contract in Denver. See, I remember a couple things about football every now and again. All right, here we go. It's live 6 Rings and Football Things. Thanks for listening, everybody. Brought to you by EEI, Odyssey Sports, 2400 Sports, the whole shebang. Today, we'll do a little rookie mini camp. We'll talk the latest in the GM hunt, if you will. A point Rich Keefe and I stumbled across last night about Bill Belichick and what the roast may have done for him. The schedule release. Could Netflix be getting in on the football action? And, of course, your questions. We'll take them live. Andy, you, having worked for the New England Patriots for 2 decades' time, you have attended one and a many rookie minicamp. Rookie minicamp begins today, but really the action will unfold tomorrow. Many media members will be over on their cute little hill watching Drake May throw his first passes in a Patriots uniform. Side note, all the rookies are getting their actual numbers and they're not being assigned earn it to you, wear it till you earn it numbers as well. There's a whole big rhubarb on social over, oh, wow, I love it. They finally have the numbers. I personally couldn't give a shit. And I don't understand why people make such a big deal of it. I digress. So you've been there for the rookie mini camps. Andy, what goes on during rookie mini camp? Like what happens down there? Is this just a little bit of a slap and tickle showcase, or are we getting down to some real football install?
No, not really. They're starting the playbook and everything, but I would compare it for any fan. I would compare it kind of like pregame warmups, but in shorts and helmets. They go through their various individual things, quarterbacks throwing, wide receivers running routes, the lines off by themselves. Oh, now they'll come together and kind of run a 7-on-7, and then they'll do a little team, but there's no real action going on. It is the real lowest level of the starting of the process. Like, they're learning how to huddle up. The old Patriots playbook, if you remember, Charlie Weiss's version was like leaked on the internet. And like page 1 is where the left tackle lines up in the huddle, where the right tackle lines up in the huddle, where the running back lines up in the huddle, all of that. So that's what this is. And it's getting to know each other, guys getting to know each other, and the media getting a first glimpse at physical tools, basically. We'll be raving. Well, not we, because I won't be there going to my son's Lax game. But
I'll be on the radio with Ken Laird tomorrow morning. But good point. This will be a first chance for people to be like, whoa, look at the catch radius on Javon Baker. Wow, look at the arm strength on Drake May.
And I think one of the things will be like, hey, Joe Milton has the strongest arm in the planet, but Drake May's arm looks pretty good comparatively, and he's a better all-around player. Like, there'll be comparisons like that. But I told you on the last 6 rings, it's much ado about nothing. One of the worst rookie camps. And I said it to Paul Pearl. We were having a conversation. He goes, oh, yeah, Edelman sucked. He was falling all over the place, slipping. He couldn't run routes. And
what'd that guy ever do, huh?
Right. It was one of the worst starts you'd ever see to a guy who was making a transition from quarterback to athlete to wide receiver to whatever. So everything, and it's going to be very short. My understanding is it's about an hour on the field. You're going to have a Mayo presser, about an hour on the field, and then players. But I've also been told that if you're one of those like me who was really interested in hearing from Javon Baker, don't get too interested in hearing from Javon Baker. There may be a little Belichickian leftovers in Foxborough where the volatile social media wide receiver may not be speaking to open mini camps. So
I was just going to ask you if you thought, now that things are being done differently in the Mayo way, would they still sort of apply the Belichickian rookie lockdown? Like, all right, you got your socials, kid. That's nice and all, but we're going to ask you to walk it back a little bit here before you start telling people you're one of the 10 best effing wide receivers on the planet.
Yeah, I've been led to believe he will not be addressing the media tomorrow. Most of them will be. I think Drake May will be talking, Jalen Polk, some of those guys. I don't have a hat. People bitch when I wear a hat too much. Now I don't wear a hat. People bitch. Yesterday they were saying I looked like freaking Lane Kiffin, and we've never been seen in the same room together, and all those things. I'm sorry. People are never happy. Very critical.
Right.
But yeah, so rookie minicamp, great. It's what I would say is it's a very almost a lackluster appetizer. Like, not a whatever your favorite appetizer is, it's not that. It's not like those mile-high nachos that are just like you're so hungry and they're so good. It's more of like
not even a good not even a good tray of pigs in a blanket. It's just a little
like
just
chicken
a bite.
fingers.
It feels like a showcase, really, if anything. Just sort of like this, like we drafted them. Here they are, everybody. All right.
Yeah. And the numbers thing, you're right. Not a big deal. I mean, the person who made it a big deal was Bill Belichick, basically. And it makes it easier because your brain, we are all wired, and it's like 50. Who the hell? Oh, that's Mac Jones. That's our quarterback. Like 51. Who's that skin? Oh, that's Tyquan Thornton. That's right. Like, it's just easier to see their numbers and start the process of realizing number 10 is the guy I focus on at all times, the quarterback. He is the guy from now on that I focus on. Or, I'm looking at receivers, number 6. I want to know where number 6 is, what he's doing, Javon Baker. Like, some of that, it just starts the mozzarella sticks. Good job, Burley Sullivan. Mozzarella sticks. They're fine. You like them. You enjoy it, but you're not like, oh, that was the best mozzarella stick I've ever had.
No, but a cold mozzarella stick sucks. I think we can all. There's nothing more disappointing.
Why would you eat it cold?
Because what if you don't know? Like, it still feels warm on the outside. You
then
get
it's
it.
Just a stick cheese. It's not a mozzarella stick anymore.
Then it's just then it's breaded string cheese. Exactly.
Soggy breaded string cheese. Yeah, those are bad. I'd still eat
tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Still eat them.
All right, so it's just, of course I will. It'll be a little bit of a showcase. Hey, here are the numbers. Hey, here's my arm strength. Hey, here's how high I can jump. Hey, here's how fast I can run, which is great. And there'll be all of our pals down there tomorrow, the Callahans and the Kides and the Giardis and the Kyles, everything else. We'll be
real
following
quick,
them.
One addition that could be is when you get rookie minicamp tryouts, non-signed invitees.
That's right. There were 10 UDFAs, and there's like 8. I think they had like 18 non-camp invitees as well, including the defensive lineman / punter, dude.
Everyone, yes, and that's intriguing. That's a guy that you should watch, just because how often do you see a defensive lineman who punts? But every once in a while, 1 or 2 of those might get signed and start the process. That was Malcolm Butler. He was a rookie minicamp invite, and then an undrafted free agent, and then a make the roster, and then a Super Bowl hero, and all that. So and sometimes those guys are notable, like a Tippett. His son was here a couple of years ago, or sometimes it's people with connections to either BC or the program or Billy. It could be anybody. So sometimes those are mildly interesting as well.
Mary Beth Campbell Ballin, who's watching live on Facebook now as we record Six Rings and Football Things. She can't get enough Pat's positivity. Let's hear about it all. Go, Pat. See, I think
Yes.
there's a legitimate appetite right now, Andy, for anything positive. Like there were, and yeah, sure, there was last year as well, but that was more out of desperation. I feel like the ship is slowly turning. There are still people that are very angry at the organization. They say it's gone woke. They don't like the way that they let Bill Belichick go. They don't need fancy murals. They can't understand what the hell's going on with the GM process. That is out of their hands because, of course, the Rooney Rule has to be adhered to, which is why they're interviewing people from outside the organization for a job that I'm pretty much sure. Are you still on board with the idea that this is Elliot Wolf's and that's that, right?
Yeah. I'm stunned that there's any discussion of anything else, because if there is, this is the most mismanaged transition in the history of football.
And what an insult to a football legacy guy who just steered you through your first offseason without Bill Belichick in an executive capacity, ran a draft that by all accounts was a B+ to A- from all of your draft nicks and football heads. And now you're going to be like, hey, thanks for being a human placeholder. Appreciate it, Elliot. Take care now. We're going to hire this guy, the former cap guy from the Panthers.
There's no chance.
It's
Elliot Wolf is the EVP. We got an EVP and an AVP. You down with me?
Oh, jeez. All right. Andy's going to take a moment to think about some of the decisions he's made.
Should have worn a hat.
Should have worn a hat. Should have worn a visor. Our pal Steven Tower, a regular viewer here on Six Rings Live and a listener to the program. I'm already dreading hearing how good Marvin Harrison Jr. looks in camp. Look, everyone is going to. Here's the thing. You have to just, you got to be happy with the players they selected. You got to dance with the girls you done brung to the prom. Get excited for Jalen Polk. He might have sticky hands. Get excited for Javon Baker. He could be an explosive playmaker. Maybe you'll even like some of the UDFAs, like the Fenwick kid, the big, giant, tall, strong Ben Jarvis Green Ellis 2.0 that they got out of Oregon State, I believe.
Yep.
There might be some diamonds in the rough as well. I got a lot of things to look forward to in that. So it'll be fun to see him. And then you get excited about June, and then June turns into July. And the next thing you know, it's August and we're playing pretend season games. And speaking of
then
which,
all of a sudden we're 2-8.
And then it's the bye week, week 9.
Be happy now.
We're 1-7, and then Drake May finally gets excited. Hey, there you go. Jake Fletcher, get excited for the TEs. I will say this. Our friends over at Patriots.com, Andy's former place of employ, now where guys like, of course, his mentor, his Sith Lord, Paul Perillo, Evan Lazar, and my guy, Mike Dussault, work. They're doing a great job. I love these draft pick profiles that they're doing right now. Yep. The one on the front page today, Jaheim Bell brings explosiveness and versatility to Patriots tight end room. Let's go ahead and just put it down right now, Andy. May the 10th, Drake May Day, 10:20 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me your pick for the rookie that surprises the most this season.
He certainly is a candidate. The more and more I hear about him and playing some running back and being athletic and versatile and in an offense where I think that could be utilized, I certainly could see him backside tight end on boots and things of that nature. He is certainly very much in the conversation when the other two are other three, I guess, are what they are, tight ends at this point in their career with Henry and Hooper and Wilcox. I think there's probably an opportunity there, especially if there's an injury, and he gets bumped up. And we saw it last year where a tight end in Pharaoh Brown kind of comes out of nowhere and
made himself a name and a couple of bucks over 3 or 4 big catches.
Absolutely. So I think that I'm also intrigued by Marcellus Dial. And typical Andy Hart profiled.
Yep.
Did you see how effing jacked and ripped the dude was on draft night? He was in his backyard celebrating with no shirt on. And dude, I know I don't want to go over into Rob Bradford's territory and talk about Tyler O'Neill's body fat or whatever, but Marcellus Dial has 0% body fat. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, he's obsessed with Tyler O'Neill. And also, I'm telling you, there could be, you know how on board I've been with the Javon Baker train for the longest time. Jaheim Bell could be a pleasant surprise deployed in a number of ways.
But read the top comment. Read the top comment.
The top comment.
We're off the rails already.
All right, Jay in the AVL watching live on YouTube. Imagine Bell turns. All right, let him just be himself. Turns into Debo. Come on now.
What that
would be amazing. I'd be here for it.
And imagine I turn into Santa Claus like Tim Allen.
Right, and imagine I turn into Tom Bergeron. Not going to happen anytime soon.
Love
so
you, Jay.
Let's just allow everybody to be who they are. That said, Andy, for Bell to make the roster and be maybe not an impact player, but a year 1 contributor for Javon Baker, like you said, to be half as good as he says he is. And on top of it all, if Marcellus Dial could actually, I don't know,
dial it up.
Oh my God, stealing my thunder. I was going to say, what if he turns into Marcellus? I'm about to go medieval on your ass. What if he becomes a safety? Like they're in desperate need for like a long, rangy, fast, strong, instinctive free safety. The post McCourty era has yielded none to date. There's a prime opportunity for him right there.
Right. And they still need corner depth too. So I don't rule him out at corner either, or being
he could
just
play both ways.
Miles Bryant, is he a corner? Is he a safety? Who cares? He's still down in Miles.
Is he the guy that gave up that touchdown?
Jesus Christ. Isaiah McKenzie whooped his ass 4 years ago. Get over it, Fitzgerald.
Last year, I actually gave him his flowers. It was too easy to dunk on him.
You made a face.
I'd rather he be his own person than try to be comped out to Miles Bryant. I don't need anyone saying someone is going to be the next Kyle Arrington. Someone's going to be the next Will Height. Someone's going to be the next Miles Bryant. Be your own self. And I also thought it was too easy to dunk on him, just like it was too easy to dunk on Patricia. Coaches coach, players play, and ultimately it's their responsibility.
That's a great point by after further review.
What do we got? Steven Tower. What's Steve's point? Here we go.
You want to be freaking...
Out of all the people you could have imagined turning into, Tom Bergeron never changed, Fitzy.
Why would you want to be Tom Bergeron?
Why wouldn't I want to be Tom Bergeron?
Why would
one of America's hosts, a multi-millionaire, handsome native New Englander? Come on. What you think I want to be Seacrest?
No.
I mean, Bob Barker, Gene Rayburn, some of my other GOAT hosts from the wide world of talk shows, game shows, and beyond.
Why are you limiting yourself to your dream person being a host?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy bringing people together for a good time.
Why wouldn't you want to be Brady? Why wouldn't you want to be like whoever the coolest dude on the Justin Timberlake?
All right, Kurt Russell, fine.
How about Justin Timberlake? He's one of the most talented people on the planet.
Okay, Kurt Russell and Justin Timberlake here on the latest 6 Rings in Football things. Dream big. That's right, Andy. Now it's silly season. Like you said, be optimistic, Patriots fans. Be who you want to be. Be what you want to be.
And that's the most important thing. I know I said this last August was time for optimism with that iteration of the Patriots and Bill O'Brien, and you're hoping that he turns Mac Jones around. But the difference is I felt like that was, an analogy, save the marriage time. Like you're hopeful you actually have stabilized your marriage. You went through a rocky period, but you think you guys are fine. And then you found out, well, no, we're not really fine. This is really over. That rocky period was really who we are. Now you have, as that country song says, I got a brand new girlfriend and she's hot and you're in Mexico and you're on the beach and like you think this is and it's the honeymoon period. Amazing. Don't get me wrong. We have no idea where this relationship is going. It's all honeymoon period, but enjoy the damn honeymoon period with Drake May and Gerard Mayo, because I was half joking and only half joking.
Daiquiris for breakfast, coladas for lunch.
Absolutely. But someday you got to go back to the real world, and the real world will be September, and the real world will have good teams on the other sideline who may kick the living crap out of you, and hope will be gone quickly and it won't be fun anymore. So enjoy May, June, July, August, because September could suck.
The cruel reality of September is around the corner. But for now, let's, like you said, dream big, dream often, aim high, Iron Eagle.
Dream those bigger questions than Tom Bergeron, for Christ's sakes.
All right. Jeez, I thought it was an attainable dream. So let's go ahead and get those questions stacked into the comment box. If you're watching live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, anywhere else you may be, if you guys have any questions you want us to try to get after when we get to the back end of the podcast in just moments. Here we go. A couple other notes, Andy. Let's see. I saw yesterday both Andrew Callahan did a piece before he had to go cover the Celtics for the Boston Herald last night as well. Great game by the Seas, by the way. Terrific. Again, I like, at least the Bruins, they may get their ass handed to them, but they'll go down swinging. They'll go down trying. I'm still missing the EEA, energy, effort, and attitude from the Boston Celtics, but this is not 17 banners and basketball things. That said, come on, pick it up, boys.
Be better.
Be better. Exactly. Want more, be better. I saw Callahan had a piece, and then it was also a note in Mina Kimes' latest podcast that the offense, now you tell me if you think this is a little too far in silly season. Is this a reach? Both of them posited that the kind of offense that Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt ran last year in Cleveland, with a lot of deep passes over the middle and the out, they highlighted a couple of plays that Joe Flacco executed to a chef's kiss and that little renaissance he had last year at the end of the 2023 season. This offense will be very well suited to Drake May's talents of being able to chuck the ball with some velocity, with some airtime over the middle and on the out. Have you had a chance to peek into that? And what do you think of that concept?
I think absolutely. I mean, you look at what he can do in terms of, well, first of all, Alex Van Pelt told us he's running the Cleveland system. Like, basically, that's what he's going to do. The roots of everything they do will be the Cleveland system.
Okay.
And so you're talking about zone runs, wide zone runs, which we've had a little Ramondre talking about, and then play action pass off of that, which some of that play action pass will be deep balls, deep overs, deep things. And then some of it will be some boots with the athleticism of the quarterback, Drake May. So, yeah, I think he is very well suited to do everything that offense entails. Now, you're going to have to tweak it. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to tailor it to some of your personnel. Running those boots to the right, and when he spins around, I don't know what the backside tackle is doing, so he could get his clock cleaned and be dead. So let's be careful on some of that.
You've got a former right tackle learning how to play left tackle. You drafted a right tackle who's also going to have to learn how to play left tackle. Does this actually give I'll go ahead and throw my first question into the comments. I'll go early mailbag. Do you think that the evolution of the installation of the Alex Van Pelt offense will give Cole Strange, who was likely drafted to be a zone run guard, do you think this gives him a fighting chance at making the roster and or just, quote, being better?
Sure. I mean, theoretically, his athleticism could be put to better use in the zone blocking schemes. We'll see where that goes. I don't know how good he is. I don't know how much reality. That's a little bit counter, though, to why am I drawing a blank on the Texas A&M kid they drafted to play
Layden Robinson,
who's kind of a hoss, kind of a big old hoss.
He chooses violence. He looks like he's a disciple at the Jabril Peppers School of Football.
So there's some things to kind of iron out there in terms of Mike Onwenu, not the most athletic right tackle.
Don't forget, So and Mafi each clocked in at about 3.5 bills last year too.
So there's some work to be done in terms of figuring out where those pieces fit, and do they fit what Alex Van Pelt wants to do? How do they utilize that? That's going to be something to keep an eye on. And that, unfortunately, is something you don't see in rookie camp. You don't see in OTAs. You don't see in MiniCamp. That does not get seen until week 2 of training camp, when they really start banging a little bit, and then into the preseason, unfortunately, and then even into the regular season, how that offensive line is going to come together. And I think most people are simply fixating on, they need a left tackle. That's true. They need a left tackle. I also need to see how the rest of the pieces come together as a totality for a line. And we saw last year, if your line blows, you blow. That's just the reality of the NFL.
Yeah, no, it is. And that's why I would say right now, the pecking order, if you will, the power ranking of important coaches on the Patriots coaching staff right now, it all begins and ends with Alex Van Pelt. I'm excluding Gerard Mayo for the moment. It begins and ends with Alex Van Pelt. I'm very comfortable with where the defense is. And I think DeMarcus Covington's experience in working with Gerard Mayo as well will have the defense in a very good place. I go Alex Van Pelt. Then I go Scott Peters, number 2, the new offensive line coach. Dude better get in there and get to action.
Agreed. And for whatever it's worth, I'd expect nothing less. David Andrews yesterday in his media availability was very praiseful of him and said he's a tactician, a technique, but what else is he going to say? Boy, this new guy blows. Where's Scar when you need him? Like,
what a chump this guy looks like.
Right. So, but you're right. I think those two people, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot to figure. And it's not just teaching players what they want them to do. It's figuring out, can we even do that? Or do we need to tweak what we're going to ask him to do? Because we can't ask a guy to do something he can't. Like, I've heard Fourier talk about this, like in his Washington days. They were like, yeah, that 310-pound defensive end, you need to clean him out of here so that the back, and Fourier's like,
I don't do that.
I'm in year 13 as a tight end that I don't know if I could.
I sucked at that 10 years ago. I'm not going to be any better at it now.
So guys have to have a chance to do what you're asking them to do. If not, you're a bad coach, because that's the reality. You need to make it kind of work. So those two guys have a lot on their plate.
I was watching some footage yesterday on the socials of the Dallas Cowboys MiniCamp, and how they have Guyton, the giant tackle from Houston, I believe. Yes, or Oklahoma, and how they're switching him from right to left tackle, and they're getting after him like they're already on top of him, and they desperately need a left tackle because their boy went to the New York Jets. God, having a senior moment.
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith. Thank you very much. So their offensive line needs some major patchwork. Maybe that'll work out for them. We'll see. I don't even know, do they tell some of these guys bulk up, slim down? What are they going to do with the line? But I think it'll be a fascinating place to keep your eye trained. Keith and I had this, here's kind of an off-field, it's a Belichickian moment, if you will. With the way Bill Belichick's offseason is going, Andy, he crushes at the roast last week. Looks like he's having the time of his life. The numbers came in for the McAfee show on draft night. Belichick's edition helped them skyrocket. He's having he looks tremendous right now. He laughed at himself getting caught on the ring cam, sneaking out of that cheerleader's dorm. Everything is coming. Out. Yeah, with his moobs out. Exactly. Coach is having a run in a time right now. So Keith and I posited last night that this actually may make him more attractive to owners in the NFL. Like, wait a second, Belichick isn't just being a jerk. Like, he's not just crusty like he was in New England. Like, there's an affable, funny, likable, engaging Bill Belichick that's underneath that tough, steely veneer of football and gridiron toughness. I wonder if this is actually will this benefit him in the long run, or should they expect that kind of Belichick, or will he just go back to
Oh, he'll go back to that, but this is calculated. You don't think this is an accidental thing, right? Like the McAfee thing, the whole intention was for him to show personality in a youthful environment, a younger environment, because he doesn't want people to think he's the oldest coach in NFL history. He's 73. What's he going to be, 73 next year? So I think this was calculated. I think the roast was calculated. I think this is an image, not do-over, but kind of rehab based on what he feels he needs to do. It's a little different, but similar. Unfortunately, it was tragic in a way. But when Charlie Weiss decided he needed to get the stomach staple surgery, laparoscopy or whatever, because he thought his head coaching image was being hindered by his appearance, his look, his overweight. And he did that. These guys take this seriously, and marketing themselves as head coaching candidates. And the biggest issue right now is Belichick is an old grump. Well, how do you not be an old grump? You go on and have a tickle fest with Pat McAfee. You go on and show you have a sense of humor on a roast with Tom Brady. And all of a sudden it's like, huh. And it's worked. I mean, I don't know about you. Like, my wife watching the roast was like, oh, I kind of like this Belichick. He's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's intentional. It's all fake as F, but it's intentional.
Yeah, he's putting on a hell of a show.
He wanted to kill people. But he did a good job keeping his inner anger, like his Hulk. He kept it down. He stayed from turning green.
So much so even that Julian Edelman talked, and another great, I got to tell you, Games with Names has turned into the Patriots porn podcast. Like, Edelman is on a rip right now. He did a great job, apparently, when he went to the comic store in LA to test out his roast set with Jeff Ross. He crushed at the roast. Then his podcast afterwards had a good one with Max Crosby last week. This week he's got Bledsoe on for behind the scenes stories. It's great. He said, though, when Robert Kraft showed up, that you could cut the tension like with an effing knife. Like, he said that still Bill and Robert ain't there, and it may not ever get back to there.
It may not.
Because
they don't have a lot of time. No. Time healed the wounds of the previous ice age between Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. That took a while. I think this is similar. And I mean, obviously there's the perception from Bill's side that Robert railroaded him and kept him from getting the Atlanta job, or played a role in him not getting the Atlanta job.
That didn't help. Yeah, no. That was the wrong time for that to come out. So you can do all the shots you want. You can say all the great things about the greatest coaches and whatever else, but the tension is real. Sorry, kids. Mom and dad still ain't getting along, but that's all right. I still bet we see Bill Belichick on the next Tom Brady salute night, June 12th, 2024 at the stadium. All right, Andy, your thoughts. Schedule to be released this coming Wednesday, May the 15th. We've seen a couple of leaks out there. Be very curious if the leak schedules that I've seen come true. First thing was the Patriots potentially opening on the road in Nash Vegas week 1 against the Titans. What would you think? 2 new coaches. That would be Mayo versus Callahan. I think that'd be fun.
And winnable. More importantly, winnable. That's a winnable game.
Yes, it is.
Our defense, look at me, Mr. Patriot, our defense against whoever that is, Will Levis, whatever they do at quarterback, whatever their new look off it, like, and you get to maybe whoop ass on what's his name, Calvin Ridley, because he turned you down.
Ridley, Treylon Burks. They actually have a bit of a receiving core now in Nash Vegas. You've got Treylon Burks, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd, and Calvin Ridley. That's interesting.
Who's throwing the ball? Will Levis.
Oh, don't forget they have Tajay Spears as their lead back. That dude can tote the rock. And they signed what's his name from Dallas as the back, like their backfield. There's the potential for Callahan to get that team to be a decent watch on offense.
Who's the quarterback?
Will Levis, Connecticut's own Will Levis.
And I actually kind of like him. He showed some flashes last year. I know he completed a very low percentage of his passes. And, I like him.
Back against Miami was fun, though.
He's jacked. He's got big guns.
Yeah, you with the shredded dudes today. Jeez.
Yeah, whatever. What's wrong with admiring the male human physique?
Nothing wrong with admiring the male form and physique.
No, that would be a fun and a winnable game, because just looking at the opponents.
Tony Pollard, yes, thank you.
There's not a lot of like this could be a struggle of a season. We all know that the schedule is not easy. I've joked about the last place teams called Bengals and Chargers. That doesn't seem fair. They don't seem like last place teams.
They certainly do not when they finish 9-8 and we're a whisker away from making the playoffs with the backup quarterback, no less.
So, but I know one of the leaks was like, what did it have? 3 primetime games. Feels like too many.
1 Monday Night Football and 2 Thursday Night Footballs, but no Sunday Night Football.
You're not getting Sunday Night Football. That's for good teams. Thursday Night Football you have to get. But I fully expect the Patriots, when the schedule comes out, to be like, 13 1 o'clock games kind of
How
thing.
about that? Yeah,
and I'm not criticizing, by the way. Big fan.
Speaking of primetime games, though, news has leaked out that, you ready for this? There could be another streamer getting in on the NFL action. Netflix is making a significant bid, according to reports, to secure the broadcast rights to all the Christmas Day NFL games. You think the NFL is going to turn down that money? Think again, my friends.
No, and I'm actually fine with it, because
everyone has Netflix at this point.
Right, and it works. And we just watched a major live event that works, and we'll watch another major live event with Paul Tyson, and so I'm comfortable with Netflix in a weird way. Even though I don't love the whole trend of all these piecemeal where the games are, and I know the old guy can't find them.
Black Friday game on Amazon, the playoff game on Peacock, now football. Thanksgiving, Christmas.
It's all coming back to cable anyway. Did you see the announcement? Like Disney, ESPN, ABC, blah, blah. They're all merging. They're going to have one massive bundle coming up with Max and all the sports networks. And we used to have that. It was called cable. So
now it's, what do you call a streaming bundle that we're all going to end up ultimately paying the same for anyway? So it's just moving money. It's honestly just moving money all around, but it's easy. I mean, you just throw on Netflix and you just leave it on for the day. And that's that. You go right from the Yule log channel straight into the parade. And then you get 10 hours of football. And then the NBA is like, but we used to lay claim to the sports on Christmas Day. And Goodell's like, that sounds like a you problem, not an us problem.
All right, couple mail real quick.
Yeah.
Since you brought up NBA, we're talking NBA, NFL. Big eruption this week between Austin Rivers, JJ Watt. Could NBA players play in the NFL? More of those could play in the NFL.
What is it? Devin Funchess is the first one now. He's joining like the Venezuelan league or something like that.
It's all over the place. And the reality is a high-end portion of both leagues could play in the other league. It's just the reality. These are some of the most elite athletes on the planet. And I don't know if people have done research. A lot of the
so I'm sorry, Joey Aguirre, all Monday night games only on Skinamax. Well, Skinamax has now been folded into HBO, which has just formed the super streamer that is Max.
Right.
But I do yearn for the days of Skinamax as well.
You like your soft porn? Is that what you fan of?
Listen, I celebrate all forms of the human body.
But like, a lot of these NFL players were elite high school basketball players. Like, you can go back and watch N'Keal Harry's tape and Henry Ruggs and all
Drake
these guys.
May was a good basketball player. Yeah. Also, 2 words, one name, Julius Peppers. Dude was a stud on UNC.
They all could. Yeah. So Randy Moss. And at some point they pick a lane and they streamline and practice and perfect their craft in that lane. but I think, whatever, it's not everybody. It's, 10% of the NBA could probably play in the NFL, and 10% of the NFL could probably play in the NBA. And right. I don't know why everybody's getting all hot and bothered. The one thing, the big issue would be, yes, I do believe NBA players on the whole are soft, whiny bitches. And if you're a soft, whiny bitch, I don't know if there's a place for you in the NFL. That's that hard. Like, business decisions. I feel like a lot of NBA players that went to try to play football would make a lot of business decisions. I don't think they would like a lot of hitting.
All right, a couple questions, and we'll get us up and out of here. You got to make way to Fenway for an afternoon show today. Here we go. First question from Burley Sullivan. Am I a bad Pats fan if I'm kind of hoping for another top 5 pick next spring?
No, I think you're fine, and that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm a bad media/Pats fan because I kind of like the Joe Burrow model in Cincinnati, and I'm not looking for Drake May to have an injury. But, if you start the year with Jacoby Brissett for 4 to 6 games, and maybe you go 1-5 or 2-4 in those, and then you transition to May, and May is making plays, but you're just not quite good enough. You're not able to get over the hump, but you finish the year saying, this guy's pretty athletic. And remember that one throw to so-and-so, and remember that other throw to so-and-so, and remember that drive he put together against this team, and you're piecing together in your mind like, he did some really nice things, but now I pick in the top 5 and I either get a franchise receiver or a franchise left tackle next spring. Yeah, sign me up for that plan. And you are going to have a boatload of money to spend. So if you can year 2 jump dream for Drake May with another elite blue chip player at the top of the draft and then a couple blue chip free agent signings, I like the fast track back to, it all hinges on Drake May as, we celebrate May Day.
Hingent, as we say.
It's hingent upon Drake May on this wonderful May Day.
William Berry at Castlelong on the tweet machine. Off-season question. Do rookies still all get haircuts? I think a lot of the haircutting and hazing and everything else that used to be associated with off-season action, I feel like that's all kind of like gone the way of the dodo and the Fiero.
All people that have hair get haircuts.
Well, yes, Andrew. Yes,
I got nipples. Can you milk me, fucker? No, they don't do haircuts. Well, we shouldn't say no because this is a new regime. This is Gerard Mayo's team. At the end of the Belichick era, the haircuts were done away with. They even did away with the slip and slide, I believe. I don't believe they did the slip and slide wet ball drill in the corner where they hose it down and dive on fumbles anymore. Now we'll see.
That's too bad. Everyone loves that. It's a good time for everyone.
I never loved it because I was like, isn't this kind of how Drew Brees tore his labrum, like diving on a ball, like in his arm extended? I always wondered how, that was a good idea. I thought injuries could happen. Anyway, we'll see how Gerard Mayo handles hazing and that sort of stuff, but I don't think it's probably in a culture of love. I'm not sure remember the Tim Tebow haircut where he had the
oh god, that was brutal thing? Yeah, he looked like Friar Tuck, the monk cut. Yeah,
I don't think those are coming back.
I don't think so either, especially in Gerard Mayo, where it all seems like it's the DIY, you celebrate you style of leadership. Probably not. Stephen Tower, what do we think about Drake May starting earlier in the season? Might work out as Jacoby would be good trade material for another team that inevitably needs a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett will stay. I can say with a lot of certainty he'll be here the whole year to compete with, to drive, and hopefully inspire, partially to mentor, or at least show the way that it's done for Drake May. I don't imagine that they would keep 4 quarterbacks so that they can then make way or part ways with Jacoby Brissett. Also, don't forget, Steve and all listeners here on Six Rings, the NFL trade deadline is way too early. It's not like it needs to be moved back to like week 12 or week 11. I hate the fact that the NFL trade deadline is so early, Andy, because if you do decide, hey, I don't really need anyone anymore, so why can't I trade this guy? But I don't see Brissett going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't. I think he'll start maybe the first month, depending on how things go in the summer, and then I think he'll transition to the backup mentor role for Drake May.
Not that it sounds like he wants to, though. Sounds like he wants this job. Good.
And he should.
Good. Competition is good. It's healthy.
He should. I don't want a guy that just rolls over and plays dead.
No thanks. James Pettigrew, with all the money the Patriots have left over, any other current players who could get a big deal or an extension?
Well, I know they've broached the topic with Ramondre Stevenson. He's the next on their to-do list. They did Duggar. They did Onwenu. They did Barmore. I think they'd like to with Stevenson. But obviously running back contracts are weird and values and tread on the tire. Like, who did I have tell me last night? They were really down on Stevenson. They think he's like already on the back nine and that he's headed downward.
For real?
Yeah, which to me feels a little premature. But you want to be careful. You don't want to hand out a big extension before his 4th season, and maybe he goes out and you have to hand him the ball 300 times because of, the lack of talent, the offense, whatever. And then he ends up being, sort of worn down before he even gets to the extension you just signed him to, kind of thing. But I think he would be potentially next on the list.
Yeah, I can't think of not Judon.
Maybe.
Let's see how healthy he comes back this year. He's the one who's calling it. Isn't he calling this a revenge tour, a vengeance season, whatever the hell?
Yeah, he's been saying a lot he wants to prove, and that's fine, but I'd like to see. I wouldn't give him an extension right now. Nope. No chance.
No, I gotta see it first. Make sure that biceps healed, and make sure that he's almost 10 years into the league now. I got to make sure we got some.
He's old.
Legs al fresco. And finally, Pete the Animal Austin. What do we think about the new safety caps the players are wearing? It's an option now. They can wear the Guardian helmet or the Guardian cap on their helmet. Why don't they just make that a part of the helmet full time? It's an option. If that's the whole thing. In case anyone hasn't heard, the Guardian cap, that's sort of like mushroom padded extension that you see people wearing in the preseason or at least in training camp. You now have the option to wear it on game days, and it will they'll find a way to put the logo on the Guardian cap as well. That I'm fascinated to see.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done a little reading on these, and there's still questionable research, especially in terms of big hits. This is more of a lineman thing, and that's why you see in camp the linemen wear it, the linebackers, but some of the DBs and wide receivers don't wear them, because there's actually been research that on some of those bigger hits, helmet to helmet, like a safety on a receiver over the middle, that the Guardian cap does more damage than good because it doesn't allow the glancing blow. But for linemen, if a center and a nose tackle want to wear it because they're going to hit each other 60 times a game, like just the little boom, 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 firing out of their stances, I have no problem with it. No problem.
No, neither do I as well. In fact, it almost makes sense. They play a different position at a different size with different strength, and they should be allowed. But I had a neurologist tell me at Patriots training camp that for that exact reason, that there are some that believe the Guardian cap for the outside and the fast runners and the flyers, that it doesn't kind of work the same way. Fitzy, you need some thumbtacks for your Darth Vader poster. You got to hang that baby up in the back. Yeah, I've unearthed some great nostalgia.
Or just grow up and throw it out.
All right. Listen, you know what? Listen, Andy, I am in my full glory. I have a Patriots cap. I've got a beer, my vitamin C sweatshirt, and a Star Wars t-shirt on. This couldn't be more on brand for the super nerd at the age of 50 that I am right now. All right. Listen, guy, sad visor guy. That'll be enough out of you. All right. Andy is on this afternoon with the Jones and Mego program. It's Arcan, Mego, and Hart. He's going to go ahead and just... Yeah, where's Jones? He's currently on the radio. What's that all about? We don't know. We're not paid to make those decisions. We're just paid to talk to you knuckleheads and continue the football dialogue all year long. I'll be on Saturday morning with Ken Laird from 9 to 11 as well. So looking forward for a little Saturday brunch talk as well. Let's go Bees. Let's go C's. We got a little mini camp. Sox are the baseball team in town. They're still a team in town. I'm so fired up for the Bruins tonight. Oh man, it is going to be, bring your trident to the Garden night. It is going to be, dude, I got to tell you, like if the Bruins go up in this game tonight, it is going to be helms deep on the ice tonight. I can't wait. And let me ask you this. This is something you'll do in the afternoon. You people will do it on your radio show today. I think Keith and I came down to it last night. The best rivalry right now in Boston sports, Panthers-Bruins.
It could be. There's definitely legit. The energy in the end of that game and the celebrations, the post-goal celebrations that sort of ignited all then the fights and melees. But I am color me concerned in this series. I think
understandably.
I thought there was a maniacalness, if that's a word, to the Panthers late in that game. Like, we suckered you into playing our style and we're better at it and we're whooping you at it and you can't hang with us. And I thought they were almost laughing at the Bruins trying to be badass.
Now you answer the bell. Answer the bell.
I think, well, they certainly answered the bell the other night, and we'll see if the Bruins answer the bell tonight.
Would Coach Hart have approved of or disapproved of Pasta wanting to stand up to Tkachuk?
So I think Coach Hart, honestly, in that situation, would have said, Well, you're not doing anything with the puck, so go fight if you want. You've been useless so far. I think that's what Coach Hart would have said, honestly. But you don't need Pasternak fighting. I said this yesterday, just like I don't want Brady fighting and I don't want Tatum fighting. Stars don't fight. Big badasses in front of them make sure they don't have to fight. When was the last time you saw Wayne Gretzky fight? No, you saw Marty McSorley
Connor
fight.
McDavid doesn't fight. Exactly.
Right. You don't fight. Stars don't
Sidney
fight.
Crosby.
If you fight, you've crossed a line where they've taken you off your spot and out of your game. And oh, by the way, you also got your ass whooped. Calling it a fight is disrespectful to fights.
That's okay, though, because Kachuk, to me, showed his true colors. Like, oh, he didn't want to fight with anyone else, like Trent Frederick or Maroon was out there. Like, oh, I'll fight Pasta. Just wait. He's got one comment tonight. Oh, he's a punk ass bitch.
And he's a punk ass bitch you'd love to have on the Bruins.
1010%. And on that note, yeah, punk ass bitches, thanks for tuning in to the latest Six Rings and Football things. Brought to you, of course, by WEEI Odyssey and 2400 Sports. Please share the podcast with your friends and join the fastest growing and most fun and festive Foxborough community out there. For Hart, this is Fitzy. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Good day. God bless. And as always, go Pats.